All right, guys, so today I'm going to talk about a very hot topic. It's not certification in this case, it is remote ID. So remote ID is going to be a troublesome thing because it's going to mess with all the things that we're used to when it comes to flying. And like many things in the current reality that we live in, it's going to force us to fly basically or use products in the way that are not designed by the manufacturer. So we had issues with masks and double masking because people were asking you to do something that is not basically designed by the manufacturer to be done, which usually voids the warranty on things, which usually causes issues in general, right? Suddenly somebody like the government is stepping in and asking you to do something that goes against the principles or the manufacturing design and all that stuff, which is just absolutely ridiculous, and we all know about it. But anyway, what is it going to be like? It's basically a module, some kind of module. I don't know. Let's use this. This looks more like a module than that other thing that I had over there, although the other one looks cooler. Anyhow, so imagine you had a module, and whatever module is going to be pretty heavy because it's going to have a separate battery on it. It's going to have a separate receiver on it and all that stuff so that it can transmit information, possibly antennas, so that it can transmit information about the drone and the pilot. So it's going to tell people what the drone is and stuff that's flying in their area, as well as it will tell you the location of the pilot in question that is flying. So basically, it's going to put pilots in a pretty bad spot. And what I mean by that is safety concerns, right? If anybody could, of course, you want the right people, such as the police or whatever, to know where the drone is, fine. Nobody has issues with that. But, or, the police, the fire department, all the local community helpers, we want them to know where the drones are. And to be honest, they already do, because if you're flying something like a DJI or any of these other kind of drones, they already have GPS. So, the local authorities can already know exactly where the things are. But the problem is that this information is going to be about where the pilot is, and anybody in the street. Like, so if somebody is a criminal, they could, a pickpocket or whatever, so long as they have a phone, right? Or somebody who wants to, like a pickpocket or someone who wants to do something dangerous to somebody. So long as you're flying a drone, people know exactly where your position is, and so they can pinpoint where you are at all times. This obviously is a very big security concern, but the other security concern is that added weight on a thing that's been engineered very precisely by the manufacturer to fly in a certain way is very dangerous, not only for that reason, but also because there's so many laws that have been added to the current state of society right now that require us as pilots to fly with things that are under 250 grams. Now, the second you put one of these stupid modules on top of it, it makes the drone heavier, and now it is no longer classified as a toy drone, and now you need a special license to fly it. So, seriously, I wish there was some kind of reset button that could take us back to a time before Obama or something like that. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. There were a lot of bad things going on back then before Obama was elected. But after Obama was elected, slowly but surely, reality stopped making sense. And so, can we just go back? Can we just go back? Seriously. Anyhow, all the crazy laws that have been put in place after Obama came into power, we probably should go back before then and just repeal everything and just reset the clock back to how it was before Obama became president. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So yeah, again, as I said before, now the other thing is, again, if there's this new law that's going to come up and we're going to have to be flying with these crazy modules and so on and so forth, well, one, it's just going to be a painful experience, because what this is going to do is reduce flight times. So now if you have a whole setup, right? I'm just talking about the basic stuff, right? You have your whole plan and stuff. You know that most people have their own buffers and stuff, and they have to recalculate everything based on the new weight and performance of the new things that they're going to be flying with. So, I mean, when I fly, for instance, I like to fly starting off with a full battery. So I like to have 100% or close to 99% of the battery full, because I know that if on the box it tells you that this thing has, I don't know, let's say 25 minutes flight time, in reality, you probably have like 15 or 10 minutes based on how you fly it. So I already have my, like pre-scheduled, preset system all in place. And now I'm going to have to start everything again. And again, I just do this as a hobby, but imagine if I were a professional. Now I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of new math to put into account, because I have this module on top of it. And so, a lot of the people who are doing business and stuff like that and are working in the field are going to have a serious hassle to deal with here, especially those who, for instance, are flying in a category that doesn't require the higher level drones to be flown, and so they're happier just because they're not as as rich or as wealthy or as capable as some of the other drone pilots. So they can't afford a full-blown large Mavic, like a Mavic 3 or something like that, or one of those big drones. I don't know, because I don't own any of those things. So maybe they prefer to fly with stuff with like the DJI Mini 3, I think it is. Yeah, 3, because that new one has obstacle avoidance. It's got cool cameras and stuff. So that one is actually professional enough that you don't need the larger ones anymore to fly with. But the second you start putting something like this on it, oh, the can of worms that the people, and again, I told those people, but of course, they don't listen. Nobody ever listens to me. Just leave it alone. Stop it. You're just going to make things worse. So they went out and they just made it hard. They made it hard for drone pilots nowadays to do anything, because now, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, really. And I hope that the government is going to be paying for these modules that you have to put on top of your drones, because otherwise, guess what? It's just like a certification. It's just another tax on people who, I don't think that the drone pilots make, like crazy amounts of money. It's not like bankers or, people working in Wall Street and stuff like that making like crazy paychecks. It's just a drone pilot. It's just a pilot. Even pilots that fly manned vehicles don't get crazy amounts of money. But anyway, so the usual suspects decided to write a bunch of laws, which is going to make the flying drones commercially not as popular. So there you go. There you have it. Ruin everything, don't they? They do.